Going on your first RV trip, let's keep it simple. Here's the bare minimum gear you need to go on your trip. No extra junk, just the essentials. If you don't know me, hi, hello. My name is Emily, and this is RV Repairwoman. Okay, first off, you're gonna want a sewer hose and some sort of container to keep it in. I just have this 5-gallon bucket. You could get one from Home Depot or Lowe's, super cheap. For the hose, for some reason, people ask me all the time about brands. They're all the same. It's just a hose. I do recommend getting at least a 15-foot hose. I have seen 10-foot hoses sold out there, and the worst thing is to roll up to your site and realize that the sewer hookup is farther away than your hoses. So you're probably at some point going to get an extension, but for at least your first trip, a 15-foot hose should most likely get you where you need to be. Next thing on your list, you're going to want a fresh water hose. And with that, you're probably going to want 2 other accessories. First of all, when we're talking about hoses, do not go grab the old crusty, dusty hose that you've had in the back of your garage for God knows how long. This is really a time to spring and just go get a fresh, clean hose. This is gonna be the water that you're cleaning yourself with, cleaning your dishes, potentially drinking. So just go get a nice clean hose that isn't full of God knows what. Well, I guess you could potentially get away with just having a hose. I do highly recommend also getting some sort of water filter. This guy's literally just the cheapest water filter you could possibly find for RVs. It just screws onto the end of your hose, and then when I go to fill my water tanks, boop, it just clips in like that and it's easy to go. It would be the exact same thing if I wanted to go hook up to city water. I personally really recommend them because I'm from Las Vegas and our water here is really hard, and you can get hard water buildup on almost everything. And the water pressure in RVs is already usually so bad already that adding hard water buildup to the inside of the lines is only going to make it worse. So definitely something I recommend just to keep the longevity of your RV and your water pressure. And then speaking of water pressure, I highly recommend for the other side of your hose that you get some sort of water regulator. And I'm gonna go inside if this dog keeps barking. It's not the dog's fault. There's no bad dogs, just bad owners. There's no bad dogs, just bad owners. People get really fancy and over the top when it comes to their water regulators. This guy is truly just like the cheapest water regulator that I could get. I think at Johnny Walker at the time. I just desperately needed one to go out for a trip. When it comes to RVs, you really want to keep the water pressure below about 50 PSI. Anything above that and you can start harming and breaking lines in your RV, and water damage is expensive to fix. When you just hook up to a water line at a park, you just don't know what PSI it's going to be pumping that water out at. So let's just protect your RV, throw a water regulator on it. I'm really a no muss, no fuss kind of RVer. I'm not somebody that needs all of the amenities and all of the tech when I go out camping, but I still use a water regulator because I already fix RVs for a living. I don't need to be doing it in my spare time on my own rig. So water regulator, highly recommend. Speaking about safeties, the next thing that, at least for me as a tech, is an absolutely non-negotiable when I go out in my RV is an EMS, or an electricity management system. These things are basically like fancy surge protectors for your RV, and they'll just plug in between your power cable and the pedestal when you plug in your RV. When it comes to these things, this is really not the time to scrimp. A real good one of these should cost you like a couple $100, but is so worth it in the long run. You're basically buying yourself insurance for the RV. So a good EMS will not only act as a surge protector and protect you from big power surges that RV parks are unfortunately kind of prone to, just because they're powering a large number of RVs at the same time and aren't always wired with all of the safeties that you would want in mind. Whew, some pedestals are terrifying. But a good EMS, like a watchdog, will also keep an eye out for miswired pedestals, bad grounds, and other dangerous electrical situations that could harm your RV. Similarly to the water regulator, if you have a big power surge go through your RV and you are not protected with something like an EMS, you could potentially hurt all of the appliances in your RV, or start melting wires in the walls. Like, truly, if you get hit by a power surge, your repair bill could cost more than your RV is worth. Like, I do not try to scare people, but like, the idea of getting your RV hit by a power surge without an EMS is just terrifying and heartbreaking. EMSs. This is one of the hills that I will die on. And going from the safety to just things that I have seen new RVers forget and desperately wish they hadn't. Toilet paper. When it comes to toilet paper, there are people that will debate you up, down, left, and right about the kind of toilet paper you need for your RV. I will go on the record and say you do not need RV branded toilet paper. They do make toilet paper out there that said it is made for RVs, and it is honestly... Editing Emily here, my audio crapped out there. But you know what else is crap? RV toilet paper. It could be hard to find, breaks down way too easily in your hands, and feels weird on your butt. Don't recommend. And I'm not about that life. When you go searching for toilet paper, just look for something that says that it is septic safe. That's usually the language that they'll use on the toilet paper. That just means that it's meant for septic systems, which is what your RV is going to drain into. What this means is that septic safe toilet paper is just going to break down a little bit easier, both in your black tank and in the septic system that your black tank will eventually drain into. Is it the most comfiest triple ply toilet paper you've ever used in your life? No, but it will prevent you from getting these massive toilet paper pyramids in your black tank that are really hard to clean out. So remember, don't need RV toilet paper, but would at least use septic safe toilet paper. Also, RV toilet paper for some reason tends to have like a residue on it. Gross, not about that life. Septic safe, fine by me. And then finally, something that I don't need to worry about because I'm in a motorhome, but have seen new RVers forget who are on trailers. Do not forget to go grab yourself a propane tank and make sure that that bad boy is nice and full. If you're new to RVing, which presumably you are if you've made it this far in this video, your RV uses propane to heat the water in your hot water heater, to run your fridge when it's on gas, and also to do a lot of things you might be used to, like turn on your stove and your oven. Old veterans to RVing might be rolling their eyes, but I have gone out to calls where people just didn't realize that they needed to go get a new tank. It happens. There's a steep learning curve to RVing, and I am here to help bridge the gap as much as I can. But those are truly the bare bones basics that you need to go on your first RV trip. As you start RVing more, you're gonna find little techs and fun bits that you love along the way, but always remember that these are like the 5 things you can fall back on. If you just wanna jump in the RV and get away for the weekend, just remember to grab your sewer hose, your fresh water line, your EMS, some toilet paper, and some propane, and you should be good to go. If you found this video helpful, please consider hitting subscribe. I put out new videos like this every week, giving you the RV secrets that most techs don't want you to know. This has been RV Repairwoman. You got this.